Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Welcome to our journey into the timeless wisdom of Bhagavad Gita. In this sacred conversation, Sri Krishna guides Arjuna through confusion, fear, duty, and the deeper meaning of life. Through Krishna's teachings, we will explore who we truly are, why we experience suffering, what happens beyond this temporary body, and how we can develop real peace and spiritual understanding. As we study each teaching, our goal is not simply to gain knowledge, but to understand it, apply it in our daily lives, and gradually transform our consciousness. Let us begin this beautiful journey with Krishna.
Welcome to this explainer, where we're diving into an incredibly intense psychological standoff. We're looking directly at the exact moments right before a massive conflict kicks off, as detailed in the ancient Sanskrit text of Bhagavad Gita, verses 1.119 and 1.20. And what's absolutely fascinating about these specific verses and their purports is that they don't just describe your standard physical battlefield. No, they actually outline a literal masterclass in psychological warfare and spiritual grounding. Today we're going to explore exactly how a war can be won entirely in the minds of the combatants, well before a single physical blow is ever struck.
So how exactly do you win a war before firing a single weapon? Well, picture a cinematic freeze frame of two ancient armies facing off. On one side, we have the Pandavas, and on the other, the sons of Dhritarashtra. Imagine the sheer tension in the air. The vast military arrays are all drawn up, the warriors are completely tense, and the atmosphere is just thick with anticipation. But victory, as the text reveals to us here, isn't just about who happens to have the sharpest arrows. It's really about who commands the psychological space in that crucial, super high-stakes moment of anticipation.
The commentary on the text notes quite simply, the battle was just about to begin. We are essentially stopping time right at the precipice of war, a moment packed with immense psychological and symbolic weight. If you think about any great challenge in life, it's often this exact moment, that deep breath right before the plunge, that dictates everything that follows. The text zeroes in on this specific fraction of time to show us how the unseen dynamics of confidence and fear are actively shaping the physical reality of the battlefield. This passage from text 1.19 plunges us right into a massive auditory strike. It reads, "The blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious. Vibrating both in the sky and on the earth, it shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra." This shows us exactly how psychological warfare heavily dominated before arrows were even drawn. The Pandavas didn't just make a noise, right? They unleashed an overwhelming, uproarious sound that physically and emotionally penetrated the enemy's defenses.
Now notice the exact sensory progression here that completely dismantled the opposition's resolve. First, the conch shells are blown uproariously. Second, the sound doesn't just travel, it actually vibrates across the sky and the surface of the earth. It's a total, all-encompassing environmental takeover. And third, the direct result? The enemy's hearts are shattered. The text specifically uses the word shattered. Their internal fortitude simply cracked under the overwhelming auditory pressure of the Pandavas' presence.
And here is the brilliant thematic contrast. Earlier, when the enemy blew their conch shells, the Pandavas didn't even flinch. So while one side completely crumbled from the sound, their hearts utterly shattered, the Pandavas remained entirely unshaken by the enemy's noise. It's just a stunning asymmetry in psychological resilience. So, you might be wondering, how exactly do you build a heart that doesn't break? How do you withstand earth-shaking sounds without flinching? Well, the source text gives us a very clear, direct answer, and it has absolutely nothing to do with physical armor or simple bravery. It is all about an impenetrable, invisible defense mechanism. The text explains that their secret weapon wasn't a physical shield at all. Instead, it was an absolute psychological confidence stemming from taking shelter in the Supreme Lord. According to the purport, the Pandavas' unwavering composure is entirely due to their confidence in Lord Krishna. The analysis offers this really profound principle. One who takes shelter of the Supreme Lord has nothing to fear, even in the midst of the greatest calamity. Now, a massive world war is certainly the greatest calamity, yet they are completely free of fear purely because of where they place their trust. Right after this shattering sound, verse 1.20 pivots our attention from immense auditory warfare to a highly specific visual tableau.
Arjuna readies his weapon. The text says, "At that time Arjuna, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows." Arjuna is looking directly at the sons of Dhritarashtra, he is taking action, and the text specifically draws our attention to the emblem flying on his chariot.
To fully grasp this moment, we need to decode a specific Sanskrit term used for Arjuna's chariot flag, Kapidavaja. It translates to "he whose flag was marked with Hanuman." Now, this isn't just a decorative little detail. It is steeped in profound historical and mythological symbolism that would have been immediately recognized by anyone standing on that battlefield. This flag acts like a massive billboard, basically broadcasting an inevitable outcome.
By unpacking the ancient lore from the text's purport, we see a literal roster of divine forces stacked on Arjuna's chariot, completely assuring his victory. Hanuman is a sign of victory because he previously cooperated with Lord Rama to defeat Ravana. But it goes even deeper than that. The text explicitly states that Lord Krishna, who is personally driving the chariot, is Rama himself. And wherever Lord Rama is, his eternal servitor Hanuman and his eternal consort Sita, the goddess of fortune, are automatically present. So think about that. Arjuna has this unseen, invincible trinity right there on his chariot with him. He genuinely has no cause to fear any enemy whatsoever.
When you weigh these two realities against each other, it's super clear that the combination of this unexpected military formation and divine guidance defeated the enemy lines instantly. The purport notes that the sons of Dhritarashtra were more or less disheartened just by looking at the unexpected arrangement of military force by the Pandavas. And why was it so incredibly effective? Because it was guided by the direct instructions of Lord Krishna right there on the battlefield. The battle hadn't even physically started, but mentally, the enemy was already losing their grip.
Above all the mythological emblems and the historical flags, the text emphasizes that Lord Krishna was personally present to give direct, perfect instructions on the battlefield. The text actually refers to Krishna here as the Lord of the Senses. Having the Lord of the Senses personally providing direction means that Arjuna had access to absolute, perfect counsel in the matter of executing the battle. It is, quite literally, the ultimate tactical advantage.
Bringing it all together, we can really see how these distinct sensory details and spiritual conditions, laid out in just 2 short verses, forecast the war's outcome perfectly. The signs of assured victory are literally everywhere for the Pandavas. They have this unshaken confidence that protects them from uproarious noise. They have incredibly auspicious emblems like Hanuman signaling past and future triumphs. And of course, they're operating under the unbeatable guidance of Lord Krishna. These are all incredibly auspicious conditions arranged specifically for Arjuna.
So I want to leave you with this final thought derived directly from the text's ancient wisdom, asking how we might actually apply this deep psychological confidence to our own battles today. The text tells us that taking proper shelter completely eliminates fear, even in the midst of the greatest calamity. So when the uproarious noises of life are vibrating all around you, trying to shatter your resolve before your battle even begins, where do you take shelter?
Hare